What is going on? It is your boy Sheev the Wise, and welcome back to Vader's Lair. It is exactly about a month, I'm pretty sure exactly to the date, a month until Maul, Shadow Lord. The excitement in the fandom is starting to get a little turned up. It's a fun time to be a Star Wars fan, as it usually is. But we also got a couple of Empire articles on the Mandalorian and Grogu. Dave Filoni's first public comments since the announcement of his co-presidency of the Lucasfilm Limited Production Company. But there's a lot more to talk about, including the future of the Mandoverse today. Because, since our last stream, I have been diving deep to try and figure out exactly what Dave Filoni's code is, and I've almost cracked it. I think I've almost cracked it. Today we're going to be on a little bit more of the speculative side of things, because I truly believe that there's going to be some sort of big reveal in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, because, well, that's what the Mandalorian does. The Mandalorian has given us big reveal after big reveal in almost every season. I expect the movie to do the same. Let's get into the lair. Let's talk about it. Let's do it. Welcome into the lair, one and all. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel, and a big welcome to you if you are. It is your boy Sheev the Wise back at it with you. Let's freaking go indeed, Smalls. Good to see y'all in the chat. Much love to everybody that's hanging with us here today. Let's dive into a little bit, because first of all, there's some articles that we probably should get into too, and I can't lie. One of Dave Filoni's comments didn't exactly upset me, but it made me go, brother, that's probably not the right way to word that. Like, we'll get into it here in a second. Let me know in the comments, though, do you guys have anybody or any characters you want to see in terms of a big reveal in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie? Is there anybody you think could end up showing up? Maybe it's characters we already know. Heck, from this article we're probably going to get into here in a second, it seems like it probably should be. Like, it doesn't seem like, you know, Dave Filoni's exactly saying, oh, we're putting new characters in this. But I do think that there is some surprises to be had. I think that there's some characters. I mean, we already know that we're going to get Rada, which is dope. And there were some new images released of him today from another Empire magazine article. And then, on top of that, I'm pretty sure, well, Shadow hyped indeed. Jedi Mike, dude, I cannot wait for Maul Shadow Lord in a month. It's going to be dope. We're definitely going to be doing watch parties here on the channel. So again, make sure to subscribe if you are new. Lobo, good to see you in the chat as well. Let's dive into these articles here in a sec, because I genuinely, like, maybe I'm tweaking. I might definitely be tweaking with this one, but let's just get into it. There's not much more I can say without getting into the actual article. Let's do it. All right, so this is, I think, their second article that they released from yesterday on the Mandalorian and Grogu relaunches the galaxy. We're in a completely different era of Star Wars. And that's kind of where the quote that, like, got me irked. I get what he's trying to say. We're not doing sagas anymore. I get that. But also, why? Star Wars has always been a saga. Even the shows are set up like a saga. They're all connected to each other like a saga. So what are you saying? All right, we'll get into it. It's been 7 years, which is part of my whole thing with this, since Star Wars was last on the big screen. 2019's Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, marked the end of an era, the end of a saga, bringing a trilogy of trilogies to a close, it says. What a way to word it. Ever since then, Star Wars stories have unfolded on the small screen, unspooling the adventures of Ahsoka Tano, Boba Fett, Cassian Andor, and more, but no characters have exploded on the stream quite the way the Mandalorian and the Grogu have done in the Mandalorian show. The unlikely father and son pairing, whose adventures across the galaxy charm Star Wars diehards and newcomers alike. Baby Yoda, as fans first dubbed him, was inescapable. Now the pair are charged with bringing Star Wars back to the cinema with The Mandalorian and Grogu. It is, says Lucasfilm co-CEO Dave Filoni, a different prospect to the last time the saga made a culture-shaking big screen comeback. Episode 7 was a completely different entity, explains Filoni. It was, and it definitely got us all back into the franchise. He also co-wrote The Mandalorian and Grogu, and officially here we have confirmation that Dave Filoni was the second unit director on the film, which already, I'm going to say it, the fact that he was a second unit director, that means that they could have been shooting on a different site. Just saying, putting it out there. Big surprises, hopefully. I'm hoping. But straight up, though, dope to see that Dave is even credited for being a director on this, and that he had a chance to get, hopefully, in the director chair for the big screen. Because we know his movie is supposed to be coming in the next couple of years as well. We know he's doing a lot with the Ahsoka show. It's dope to know that he had a big part to play, or at least a part to play in the directing role of this movie outside of just Jon Favreau. Of course, we did already know that he was co-writing the movie along with him as well. But Dave Filoni said, "I had dreams of episode 7 since I came out of the Return of the Jedi. You were like, after 6 comes 7. Where's 7? I love Dave with that. He says, "We're in a completely different era of Star Wars now." And that part is 100% true. The Mandalorian and Grogu doesn't carry the burden of introducing a new trilogy or establishing a group of unknown heroes. Instead, it is, Filoni says, a big celebration of its title pair. And I like that. I like the fact that he's saying it's a big celebration of the title pair, and they're saying it doesn't have the burden of introducing a new trilogy. No, it doesn't, but it should. Sorry. All right, bear with me here. This is actually the line that got me really, I don't know, borderline upset yesterday. Because it says The Mandalorian and Grogu doesn't carry the burden of introducing a new trilogy or establishing a group of unknown heroes. No. It carries the burden of being the first Star Wars movie in 7 years, brother. That's even a bigger burden. I'm sorry, it just is. Regardless of if you think there's going to be expectations, Lucasfilm, we have expectations. This is the first movie in 7 years. That's a long time. That's a very long time. I'm not trying to be no negative Nancy here. I still think the movie's going to kick ass. But my goodness, what a poor choice of words in this article, in my opinion. Sure, it doesn't carry the burden of introducing a new trilogy or establishing a group of unknown heroes. No, it's a fun adventure. But also... Let me see what y'all are saying in the chat real quick. Small says, my guess would be that Rado and Enbo stuff is directed by Dave since they're his creations. That would be dope. Make a lot of sense too. Dave, I think, even was the voice of Enbo in the Clone Wars originally. I think still was. So you can see the blood vessels throbbing in She's for. They're starting, but we'll calm them a little bit. There's nothing to get too insanely upset with yet. Probably not throughout the rest of the article. I haven't read the full article here either. So where were bounty hunter Din Djarin and Grogu, his adoptive son and Mandalorian apprentice, when we last left them? In season 3 finale, we had a sense of genuine finality as the Mickey Mouse clothes kind of bye-bye. That's how it kind of felt at the end. Our heroes settled into their new homestead on Navarro, having thwarted Moff Gideon and playing their part in reclaiming Mandalore. And then Dave said it only felt like no, this is actually what Pedro Pascal told the Empire. He said it only felt like the ending of a particular chapter. The same finale also saw Mando agree to take on missions solely for the New Republic at a Delphi base. They open up the opportunity for him to continue his best work as a bounty hunter, but just for working for the good guys, says Pascal, combining skill and morality, whereas when we meet him first, it's simply skill and Beskar and the Mandalorian creed. Through his relationship with Grogu, though, there is an expansion of his heart and disarmoring of his armor, so to speak, that leads him to fight for what he knows is right, which 100%, that is essence of the Din Djarin character that we have known so far. And great job of Pedro to answer that question. That was dope. Sheev needs a hug? Maybe. Nah, I'll need a hug if Dave just... We'll get there. It's the sense of heart that Filoni and director Jon Favreau have hoped to translate to the big screen. Yes, the action will be bigger for cinemas, which is dope to hear. There will be a massive practical sets, puppetry galore, stop motion courtesy of Phil Tippett's studio, all the best stuff. They're pulling out all the bells and whistles. But at this center, what, did they misspell that? Center of this is, well, the Mandalorian and Grogu, the duo who captured our hearts the world over. What can't you do now? Says Filoni, noting the spectacle only goes so far. It's a question of, is the audience going to believe it? Are they going to feel it? That comes through the characters. If the characters are connecting, then the adventure plays, the action plays, the tension plays. The next adventure begins. The Mando and Grogu are back as Star Wars enters a new era. Fire up the Razor Crest, y'all. And I'm down with it. I'm down with it. Let's fire it up. Let's get back into the lair and let's talk about it a little bit. Overall, the article is pretty good. It's a pretty positive read, and they gave you a little, cover of the Mandalorian and Grogu for the Empire magazine there, and it's dope. It's dope. I'm definitely excited for the film. Don't hear what I'm not saying. British spelling. Okay. I was wondering, Aaron. I'm like, wait. Center? That's not how you spell center. Two Star Wars dudes, much love. He said, so good to see the man, the myth, the legend, she back at it. Hey, much love. Good to see you around. As always, two Star Wars nerds, I hope you're both doing well. Kavi, what up, my dude? Jedi Mike earlier says, hashtag no Bodin, no March. We have a 50-50, though, on our poll right now. And we'll dive into that here in a second, because I gotta say, I have absolutely loved the Mandalorian and the Mandoverse. Don't get me wrong at all. Look at the helmet I got behind me over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love this stuff. But it does feel like there is almost a missing link to the Mandoverse right now and what the setup is. And look, we're gonna get into some heavy speculation here. This is the one part of what I've kind of mapped out for what Dave's code for the future of the Mandoverse. This is probably the most speculative and crazy theory I have as to what might be coming. But also, if it's done correctly, it could be one of the best things that has happened in Star Wars in the last 7 years. And it could be something that changes the Mandoverse and the Mandalorian timeline forever. And honestly, Star Wars forever. Potentially a lot of characters. So let me set it up here by just basically saying it's Thrawn's story, which, here we go. She's talking about Thrawn. Thrawn's story in the Mandoverse is currently missing its counterbalance in a sense. The original story of Thrawn was created by Timothy Zahn with the Heir to the Empire trilogy back in the OG EU days. He represents strategy, control, and patience in those. And the story also had another character representing something different. Mara Jade. And he said it. She was the wild card of the entire trilogy in those books. Not Jedi, not Rebel, not Imperial Loyalist anymore either. She existed between the sides, in a sense. She was a middle, if you will. The Bendu. Yeah. And that's why the story works. Or, I don't know. I haven't read the whole Heir to the Empire trilogy, even the big Thrawn nerd I am. I read the first one, and I was like, all right, I kind of get the idea. This is pretty good, but also the new books are way freaking better. Did you finish those? Says Smalls. No. I read the Spark Notes on the second and third. He's just shaking my head. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's 6 canon books of Thrawn that are immensely better. Immensely better. Sorry, Timothy. I'm not trying to crap on your work. But they are immensely better. With that, though, and with me talking about Mara here, I think that she might be needed at this point, and in more ways than one. And I know there's a lot of people who maybe don't want her to come to canon. Heck, 50-50 of our poll on would you want Mara Jade in canon timeline. 55% of you say yes now, 45 say no. So there is almost half of you guys already in the chat that are like, no, don't do it. But she's kind of perfect for this era, and I'll explain why. In the original canon, Mara was the Emperor's hand, serving Palpatine. After his death, she left with no purpose, no loyalty, and lingering command in her head to kill Luke Skywalker. Truly, that's how her story kind of starts when she's entered into it. Imagine this scenario. Thrawn returns, which he already did at the end of Ahsoka. The New Republic panics, which we have yet to see exactly what their reaction is. Former Imperial agents begin resurfacing. And hey, who knows, maybe one of them is Mara Jade. Or maybe she's working with our favorites, who we see in this very trailer for The Mandalorian, the remnants and Shadow Council of the Empire. Now, I'm not saying, she worked with Palpatine or something. That doesn't necessarily need to be her canon story in this. But instead of just being another villain, Mara could start as like a smuggler, a mercenary, someone hunting Jedi. Probably not that, but she could end up having some conflict with other characters. And heck, if she is a smuggler or a mercenary or maybe even a bounty hunter, who's to say that very Shadow Council won't hire her? Maybe she already has a lightsaber. And heck, if you're trying to take out some dude with Beskar armor, your best chance is probably somebody with a lightsaber. Just saying. So I'm just putting it out there. We already know Embo is probably getting hired by either the Shadow Council or the Hutts to try and get Din. And we know that there's going to likely be a lot of other bounty hunters and situations going on in this story. So what if the Imperial remnants do have a tie to some bounty hunter woman with a lightsaber? Mara is in Mara Jade, says Dan the Man. Indeed. I'm going there. I truly think she might be needed, man. I truly do. I'm just putting it out there. The stuff that we have in those canon Thrawn books has set up for a newer, modern, Dave Filoni style heir to the Empire. And the hell, you could even do a trilogy of movies on that, which heck, that's what The Mandalorian should be setting up to that article. There's no burden to set up a trilogy. Brother, of course there's not, but you still should. Fat Chihuahua says the game. What? Also, incredible name. I agree with Smalls. Okay, let me get going here a little bit more, because if they really want to adapt the spirit of Thrawn's storyline and really want to go there with a modern heir to the Empire, characters like Mara Jade are gonna be sort of needed, not because of nostalgia. No. I mean, I get it. Everybody likes their Star Wars member berries. But because the story needs someone who doesn't belong to either side currently. Right now, granted, you could kind of say Din doesn't already, or doesn't belong to his side, but we know he's a good dude. We know the Mandalorians are not bad dudes. But yeah, the Mandoverse has heroes and villains, but no true wild card right now. And I know with Ahsoka season 2 and the Mandalorian and Grogu coming this year, after this movie and the show, the season 2 of Ahsoka, there's nothing right now. There's nothing set up for the future that we know of. Dave Filoni's planning stuff, but I'm just saying, right now there's nothing. it would be the perfect time to bring in a character like Mara Jade right now. I'm just saying. And it would be a freaking huge type of deal. Like, it would be just as big as seeing Luke Skywalker at the end of season 2 or Grogu in a sense, almost, because you're bringing in a Legends character that high-key can fix Luke Skywalker's character. I'm just saying, if something were to go down in the future, if we get a Mara Jade reveal, if she's actually comes into canon, and they create an animated show, which we already know there's one in the works that we don't know what it is. What if they, we've been saying it for years, make a dang Luke Skywalker animated show in the Clone Wars style, because my goodness, there's so much story to tell there still. What if you did it based on Mara Jade? And obviously Luke Skywalker would come in at some point. That would be freaking amazing. And also right now would be the perfect time for something like that. On top of that, it would make just too much sense, because what I see coming in the future of the Mandoverse is definitely something epic and big and catastrophic to the galaxy in a sense, potentially. And if that were to happen, who's to say Mara Jade couldn't make a sacrifice type of play like we see with Tony Stark in Endgame? And who's to say that that wouldn't be exactly what leads to Luke being the version that we see in The Last Jedi? And oh my God, would that make so much more sense? I'm just saying. It doesn't have to happen. I did say this is going to be some big speculation, and high key of all the stuff that I have, I think Dave is doing with this storyline. This is the one where I'm like, he might not be doing that. And even in the article we just went over, it quite literally says it doesn't have the burden of bringing in like new. Where was the quote? Let me find that quote. Here it is. The Mandalorian and Grogu doesn't carry the burden of introducing a new trilogy or establishing a group of unknown heroes. No, it absolutely doesn't, but there is so much room to expand the universe and bring in new characters. And that is not the same as what that article said. And I still believe there's a big reveal coming in this movie, or some sort of big surprise, because that's just what the Mandalorian does. The only time it really didn't was in season 3. And sure, this might just be a movie that gets us back into the spirit of things, and it doesn't need Mara Jade by any means. If anything, she would be background kind of character, or just in a few scenes type of thing as a bounty hunter, as it is. But my goodness, Amy Adams as Mara Jade, says Dan the Man. I'm with it. Sure there is. AI has given us Luke stories, and I've been preaching about it. No. Not canon. I like canon. Like, I'm a canon junkie. It just injected into my veins. So no. No AI. Lobo says, I like the theory that the kid in Starfighter is Luke and Mara's kid that Luke thinks is dead along with Mara. Oh, that would be epic. That would be a really cool idea. I forget who they casted as the kid, and I definitely think Amy Adams is supposed to be in that movie, correct? That would be dope. And okay. I know a lot of you probably thinking right now, Sheep is crazy. Ain't no way Mara Jade's coming in the canon. Let me bring the receipts, because I got some receipts. In the last year, Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland parks had a limited release of a Mara Jade Legacy lightsaber. Yeah, you heard that right. They did. And along with it was a comic, a variant cover comic of an old Mara Jade story, if I believe correctly. It's not canon necessarily yet, But it is really, really, really interesting that they decided to release a Mara Jade lightsaber and a new comic cover with a comic that came with it. That's super weird, right? Like that seems random. That they did. No, not canon. Not canon. Dan, you're so funny, brother. Did you ever get to finishing your superhero stories? We talked about mine's is getting looked at to be picked up. Nah, I haven't finished it. I gotta tell you, man. All right, real quick for people in the chat that have been here for a minute. Now, I know we're getting a little off track. Stay on target. I know. But real quick to answer your question, I've been working on a story, a personal story. In a sense, it's my Invincible, if you will. Even titled Perseverance at the moment, working title. But I'm still working on that very much. It's probably like a 5-year plan more than anything. I care too much about it to just. I've been working on it again recently, though. I took a little break because I've been working a ton. But, oh yeah, it's coming, man. It's coming. Trust me. It'll be here in the next like 5 years. It's a long play. I like to play things like Dave Filoni, which Dave is doing the long play here with the Mandoverse and with Ahsoka and all that. But yeah, so I like the long play too. Small said, did you still have to finish Omega's story with Ventress for the next animated? Oh, that would be dope. That would be dope. Or you could bring them into live action. But there's too much story to tell to get to that point. Griff says, this is interesting. Disney does like to pick and choose stories and characters from the EU to sort of flesh out. Yeah, man. And I promise you, I've thought way too much about this, chat. I truly have. It's just wait until you hear my theory. Make sure to subscribe because my goodness, I have a huge theory that I've been working on for like a year and a half, 2 years at this point. And I just haven't released it or made the actual video for it. I've talked about it a few times in stream. I don't know about how far in depth, but there is so much cool stuff I think Dave is doing right now. And it's like, brother, you're taking so long. Get to the point. I know these people you got to show these people what you're cooking. It's fire. But yeah, no, Disney does like to pick, Disney and Dave Filoni in particular, like to pick certain EU characters to bring into canon. He already brought Thrawn in, and when you bring in Thrawn, a character from his Heir to the Empire trilogy of books that Zahn created, he also created Mara Jade, who's a huge part of that story. And yes, you don't necessarily need her to tell Heir to the Empire, but you kind of do. You kind of do. And I promise you that's what Dave is setting up right now. I promise you he's setting up his own Heir to the Empire. We even heard Ahsoka say those very words back in Mandalorian. Or sorry, that was Ahsoka season 1. No, that was Mandalorian. That was Mando season 2. Yeah. The red-headed woman. Did anything ever come of that red-headed woman that Luke encountered? She was a part of the cult? That one went over my head. I can't lie. Little bit over my head there. Dale Skywalker says, I'd like Mara Jade type character in Dave's movie and maybe in Starfighter as a flashback, but not Mara Jade expectations from the EU fandom. No. And that's a thing. Excuse me. Granted, I don't know her character. I read the first book, so I know her character. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know her character as intimately as people that have read the entire trilogy and, been huge fans of her for years. I know the character on a more of a base knowledge because, again, I'm a canon junkie. I'm sorry. The EU never did it for me as a kid, and I grew up like just on the other side of that as the prequels were coming out. So the theory, indeed. But yeah, in terms of Mara Jade, I think she doesn't at all have to be the same character from those books. Not at all. You still keep sort of the core of her. She doesn't have to be a former Palpatine apprentice or, agent. She doesn't even have to be working with the Empire or the Imperial Remnant before this movie. Like, this could high-key be the first time that she's hired to work for them. And heck, maybe she does have a lightsaber, maybe she doesn't. But I feel like if she had a lightsaber, that would make a lot of sense for them to hire a person with a lightsaber to go after Din Djarin. Let me see what else y'all are saying here in the chat. But yeah, in terms of what Dale said too, it doesn't have to be Mara exactly. It can be a Mara type character, but I do feel like they should adapt her. Just don't, again, I agree with you also, don't bring the expectations from the EU fandom. I get that you're going to if you're bringing her into canon, but also, come on, man. Like, you can change her up a little bit. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. Just like Thrawn's story doesn't have to be verbatim exactly the same. In fact, if it is, it's going to kind of suck as an ending. Which is also part of why I didn't finish that trilogy. I found out what happens to Thrawn in that trilogy, and I'm like, brother, what? Anyway. Dave could do so much better. Dan the Man says, brother, you need to peep the Battle of Jakku comics. Luke encounters a red-headed woman who's a part of the cult of the Force. That would be a very different Mara Jade, I feel like. She doesn't need to marry Luke. No, Dale, and I don't think she will. In fact, I think she dies. I'm just saying. Luke didn't get that way for nothing. Luke's side piece. I'm so dead. Y'all are crazy. For real though, I truly do feel like Mara Jade is a character that could make almost too much sense in canon and would be an incredible addition, especially in this movie even. If she's actually in the Mandalorian and Grogu, which probably not. But if she is, oh man. Come on. Tell me in the chat you wouldn't love that. If you wouldn't, please explain to me, because I feel like it would be perfect. I feel like it would be perfect. I mean, we already know they don't just hire one bounty hunter. We've seen Empire, the whole lineup. Come on. Yeah, don't introduce Mara Jade just to kill her. Rather, Luke thinks she's dead that got away with his kid. I could do that as well, but I'm not saying you introduce her just to kill her. I say you introduce her, do a whole trilogy and show with her, and then you kill her. Even then, sure, maybe she survived somehow. But the narrative that I hope Dave does involves her die. Which I get it. Sure, people might be upset, but also, come on. I'm just saying. Luke Skywalker didn't become a negative Nancy for no reason overnight. I mean, granted, there was like 30 years, but this could be why. Death and dead, brother. Death is death, brother. Mara Jade lives. And you know what? Maybe she survived and just long enough to get into the sequel era timeline where, yeah, maybe she does have that secret kid. I don't know. That's probably nuts. Maybe. Side piece. I'm just look. Again, I'm not even a huge Mara Jade fan. I really like the character, but I'm not a huge fan. I know there's some diehards out there, and I love y'all. I hope that she gets canonized, and I hope she lives for y'all too. Damn the Man. You still think that was Luke? Jake was a clone. Maybe. Suru, welcome into the chat, man. He said, it is tough to explain to Padawan Jedi fans that Jedi Master Luke Skywalker broke an existential, definitive Jedi rule of life, no attachments, and the existence of Mara Jade, the wife. I mean, yeah, but also that's kind of the whole point of the Luke Skywalker character, I feel like. Heck, the Ahsoka character, the Qui-Gon character, they're all kind of just people that, yes, we're Jedi, and yes, we're part of the Order in some form or fashion with Luke, but at the same time, Luke Skywalker, I feel like, had the realization and the reality that you can still have attachments and not, not fault of the dark side. I mean, even Obi-Wan had attachments. Let's be real. Anakin was a brother to him. He freaking fell in love with Satine. Jedi have had attachments plenty. So it's not crazy that Luke could have had a wife, or that he broke. Heck, maybe that's even why we get to him in The Last Jedi saying it's time for the Jedi to end. Yeah, it makes sense. It's really not that complicated. Luke was meant to start a different Jedi Order, one that had attachments. That's why he let Grogu live with his dad. Yeah, that's 100% why. And he let Grogu choose. And that's it. He didn't want to continue training him if he's gonna stick with that attachment in a sense. But also, yeah, he wants that option. You don't just take a kid from their parent, They're all attached to each other in a sense. They're attached to the Order. That's for damn sure. That's how they get so damn Palpatined. Speaking of Satine, why hasn't why hasn't Dave let Bo or Kenobi mention her in the Mandoverse? Thoughts? Well, I mean, Kenobi's not exactly in the Mandoverse, and also she was a Clone Wars character, so he tries to make everything digestible, which is also like a little bit of a fear of mine with the movies and different things. It's like he tries to make it digestible for a new audience every single time. That's how it feels, at least. So that's probably more than anything reason why Satine's never been mentioned. But yeah, man, I feel like Bo should definitely, like, especially in the Mandalorian show, like, there could have for sure been a chance where she talked about her sister and the peaceful era of Mandalore that she tried to rule, like, kind of would make sense in the context. And yeah, Dan the Man, I 100% agree. Luke was meant to start a different Jedi Order, one with attachments, and it still fell. I mean, granted, maybe Luke was a little disillusioned too, but that's the thing too. Sure, maybe it was just Ben, but like, to me, that's such a like I'm not the hugest sequel fan. I still, but with Luke's character, that was always one of my things is like, how did he, like, what? This is the dude that saw good in his dad who murdered hundreds of thousands of people. Like, what? Anyway. Let me see what y'all are saying. Real quick, going back to Mara. If Mara is introduced properly, she could easily become one of the most compelling characters in Star Wars in this period, which is probably why Dan doesn't want her to die either. I don't blame you. But she's someone who actually is after, like, she's someone who gets to decide who she is in a sense after the Empire fell, which is interesting. And Din Djarin kind of got to do that as well, which almost would be perfect to have the two characters in some sort of dichotomy or interaction with each other. It would be so cool too if Mara Jade gets hired to take out Din, and then she's like fighting him, and then she sees Grogu and she's like, I don't think I can do this. NJO was a very interesting era of the EU. I could see Dave pulling tons of stories from there. Yeah. I honestly, there's a lot of stuff I feel like Dave is still planning to bring in from canon, or from EU. Hopefully from canon too. Please don't just pretend that paper doesn't exist, Dave. I beg of you. I beg you. All right. Looks like me talking about Mara Jade for a little bit got the poll up to about 60% of us saying yes, we want Mara Jade in the canon timeline. Hey, that's over majority rules. Majority rules there. She would have to break bad for it to be an effective plot line. What? Okay. I don't want to blow my whole load. Pause. But what if when Thrawn comes back, he tells her, like, the two of them meet because maybe she's still working for the remnants or whatever the case is, and he takes a liking to her. What if he says to her something along the lines of like, oh, like, there's a bigger threat that I'm preparing for out there. And what if she starts like hanging out with Luke and also working with Thrawn at the same time, but for the greater good? Because that could totally happen, and that would be so dope. And you could do it in an animated show. You could literally have like, you know, she's hanging out with Thrawn one moment, then she's hanging out with Luke the next. No, don't say that, Jedi Mike. Smalls, I'm so dead. I didn't blow the hole up. Relax. It's not that much. No umbrellas needed. No Umbara arcs needed. Relax. Chill. Just Skywalker hype. That would be dope too. I will say, just fun speculation to throw out there. I'm pretty sure there's a character in the canon Thrawn books that high key is Thrawn's sister. It would be dope to see her at one point, but Dave Filoni doesn't like paper, so please, Dave, don't just erase paper every time. Those books are incredible. Apparently, Grip, I wasn't aware either. I've got this guy right here. That'll wipe it up. Perfect. Usually y'all are killing me. Yes, I would want Mara Jade in the timeline. I don't know if I answered that, but I do. I can't wait to release this theory, because genuinely, especially with her being involved, it just makes too much sense. Like, truly. And I get it. Dan, you don't want her to die, but if she did, it'd be real good. Granted, maybe she pretends she died in the event, but we'll see. I did say stream. Smash that like button. Hey, good to see y'all in the chat, man. I appreciate it, Griff. It's dope to be back at it. I gotta probably get out of here in the next 10-15 minutes because gotta go take care of some stuff. And I got work in a little while. But your boy's happy to be back at it. I'm trying to think of what else we can talk about here. I think there was another article too, so we can actually dive into that here. And it actually has to do with Rada, which there was some images released like all over Twitter. I think it was like yesterday, maybe 2 days ago at this point. I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. And apparently all of those images were fake, but it looked like exactly like what he does look like, which is hilarious. But I guess it was the same dude who released some like images of Thrawn, or not Thrawn, always on the brain, of Maul a while ago. Like, so I don't know. Anyway, Empire has officially released an article that does give us our first look at Rada in the movie. So let's dive into it. Let's do it. All right, let's check this out. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Jeremy Allen White spews a little bit of Huttese as Rada the Hutt in The Mandalorian and Grogu. Does that mean he's going to be speaking a little bit of English too? Because that'd be dope. Or basic, I should say. It's casting that nobody expected. Not really, but it's honestly an incredible casting. Jeremy Allen White, best known as Carmy in The Bear, and Bruce Springsteen in Deliver Me From Nowhere. I feel like he's best known from another show, but that's another topic. Is joining the Star Wars universe in The Mandalorian and Grogu, but rather than playing a Mandalorian warrior or an Imperial warlord, or even a fry cook, White is taking the most unlikely role of the voice of Rada the Hutt. Yes, a Hutt, as in son of Jabba. Indeed, the son of Jabba has returned. I have waited so long to see Rada again. I was a little kid in the movie theater when that Clone Wars movie came out. I know it's like low-key, production-wise, probably not the best movie, but Oh my god, that movie was badass as a kid, and oh my god, did I like Rada. And it is so cool to see Rada back. He's probably my favorite Hutt. look how ripped this dude is. Oh, he's such a beast. He ain't messing with the rest of the Hutts like that. He's an OG. Formerly known as Baby Stinky in in The Mandalorian and Grogu, the big screen outing for Pedro Pascal's Din Djarin and his little green apprentice son, Rada is back and all grown up and about to cross paths with our heroes. And he's more physically ferocious than you might expect. Yeah, he's pretty bold. My dude's been on the juice. Compared to the other members of his family tree, Rada's in top form, fighting in the pits, a gladiator of sorts, teases director Jon Favreau of where we'll find him. For White, the voice role saw him tackling the language fans saw Jabba speak in Return of the Jedi. There's a bit of Huttese, the actor teases, though he'll mostly be talking in basic. Yes! Yes! Oh, that's awesome! Oh, I can't wait to hear Rada talking basic. In general, I think the only other Hutt that we've seen talking basic was Zoro. I'm pretty sure that's its name, right? I think. But seriously, oh my goodness, Grogu or Rada talking in basic. That's epic. That's epic to me. I'm sorry, that gets me going. Where was I? While White is yet to see how Favreau filters his voice to get those booming Hutt tones, he did modulate his own performance in the booth and revisited Jabba scenes to get in the zone. My speaking voice changes as Rada, he adds. It was helpful, of course, to listen to Jabba. Oopa-jaw. Just how much of Jabba is in Rada remains to be seen. Favreau likens the character to Adonis Donnie Creed in the Creed movies, a character living in their father's shadow, when you're trying to establish yourself and your name is famous. When you're Jabba the Hutt's kid, what does that do? The director queries. That's an interesting concept. How has that affected his trajectory? I get a kick out of that. Me too. I get ready to meet a Hutt like no other. Indeed, I am excited for that. What an article by Empire on this one. High key, great drop today. Read Empire's full cover story on The Mandalorian and Grogu, speaking to Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and Pedro Pascal on their site. I don't got time for that, unfortunately, today. She've got another load in the chamber now. Oh, that time it might have blown. 0. Yeah, it was 0. The Hutt. I prefer Hutt to speak Huttese. I don't blame you, Lobo, but also for this one, I kind of do want to see Jeremy White play, talking as him. The way that Jeremy Allen White talks already, like, I want to hear it. Vader's lair. If Anakin never turned to the dark side and he was an old man, would he still be able to rescue Ahsoka in his old age if she was in serious danger? It depends on the situation, I would think, Paula. But welcome into the chat, first of all. Much love to you, Paula. Probably, because honestly, like, I feel like Anakin would have gotten stronger if he never fell to the dark side, never lost his limbs. Granted, maybe still the arm that he lost from Dooku. But if he never fully fell to the dark side, he probably would have been stronger in the Force in a lot of ways. And yeah, he probably, as an older, wiser man, would have probably been able to save him. Raina, hello there. Welcome into the chat. General Raina. Small says yes, yes, because he would have had to reach the full heights of his power. Jinx, yeah, exactly. I think he definitely would have been able to save her. Paula says, I created my own Star Wars character, Lyra Starfall. That's awesome. My mom told me to write a book about her, but I can't use anything Star Wars due to copyright. I don't know what to do. I'd write about something else, and if it ever gets presented to Lucasfilm, to produce it, adapt it. Yeah, dude, you honestly, I'm kind of doing my own thing with a story that I'm creating, but I feel you, because if there was a way to adapt it into Star Wars, I would love to do that. And yeah, honestly, make it as something else. And you could even do it a similar universe to Star Wars. It doesn't have to be the Star Wars universe, but 100%, maybe even write it adjacent if it ever does get to the light of day of Lucasfilm. That would be dope. There's my timer. Where was I though? Because your question, I love how you said I created my own Star Wars character, Lyra Starfall. Crazy lore for me. Back in the day when I was like 12, 13, something like that, I know for a fact I created I was trying to come up with like a Star Wars name for myself or a character that I would create, and all I did was take out the 3 middle end letters of my name, because my name is Dylan, Dillon, and quite literally I took out LLO, and the character that I created was named Din. And I'm not shitting you about that. That is an actual thing that I did back in the day. Had no idea Din Djarin would be a thing. Hey, yo, Mara Jade lives, but she's gonna die! The Sabersmith, welcome into the chat. I hope you're doing well. Brandon Tran, welcome in as well. Paula says, Vader's Lair. I created a fanfic with my character Lyra Starfall, and that Ahsoka's soul is trapped in a vortex, and now there's a dark presence in her body, and Lyra goes to Naboo to wake up Anakin. Interesting. That's dope. Solo Dolo. You already know. I'm not bullshitting either. I really, I literally, my name is Dylan, so you just take out the LLO and it's Din. It was a thing. It was a thing as a kid. I had a very active imagination. I still do. Am I still on this? Oh, I still am on this. Oh goodness. That was the whole article though. So we will get on out of there. And Mike, much love. I will see you later, brother. To all the people watching on the playback too, much love to you guys. I appreciate you for checking out our stream here today. Let's get back into the chat. If you guys have any other, big reveals or characters you want to see in Star Wars or think are coming, like I do with Mara Jade, let me know in the chat. Go for it, because if you didn't see me explain it already, go back and watch a little bit early, like rewind a little bit. I think Mara Jade makes too much sense to be in this timeline. Vader's Lair, do you think that would literally wake up old man Anakin Skywalker, played by Sebastian Shaw? Oh, that would be dope. Hold on. So let me see what you said in the one before. Soul is trapped in a vortex, and now there's a dark presence in her body, and Lyra goes to Naboo to wake up Anakin. So is he in like some like cryo chamber sleep? Because that would be cool. That would be cool. My hair's getting all over the place. Speaking of fan fictions, I came up with my own theory that the Star Wars: The Clone Wars would back before they announced its revival, says Brandon Tran. Smart man. I was always hopeful that they would do it, but when they did in that 2020 finale, the last season, oh man, that was something else. That was truly something else. Sucks that there's 4 episodes of Martez Sisters in the middle of it. Nah, I'm just playing. If you guys haven't watched, we have done full watch parties and just reactions to watching the entirety of the Clone Wars in chronological order, and as well as Rebels. So if you want to check those out, there are I think folders even in on the channel, or playlist. So go check those out. Vader's Lair, no Anakin sleeping in his bedroom. Okay, and she just goes to wake him up. That'd be dope. Tell him about Ahsoka. What else can we chat about here? Again, 1 month until Maul Shadow Lord. I could not be more excited. It almost doesn't feel like that show. Like the hype for the Mandalorian and Grogu started, and it was like all of a sudden I feel like a lot of us forgot Maul Shadow Lord comes out in a month. The final season was choice. Indeed. Vader's Lair, who do you think would play a great Mara Jade Skywalker? Ooh. Okay, so you said Famke Janssen, I think. I'm probably butchering that. Who played Jean Grey in X-Men? That high key, that would be a great choice. I wouldn't be against Amy Adams if she is Mara Jade. I've got a crazy one that like probably not, but I don't know. There's a couple people. Hold on. I feel like I know this is crazy. I think it was Bryce Dallas Howard's birthday the other day, and granted, it was a picture of her much younger. But tell me Bryce Dallas Howard wouldn't be a great Mara Jade. Tell me she wouldn't, because I think she would be dope. My little Grogu over here, which we'll move the camera. My little Grogu over here is named Beasley. She is a absolute sweetheart. Aren't you? Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, we'll go for a walk in a little bit. Oh, that got her going. Now you done it, Sheev. Bryce is so nice. Yeah. I'm telling you, Bryce Dallas Howard would be dope. I'm just saying. Heck, she could, a little older. Oh yeah, Beasley is definitely a little sweetheart for sure. She's a good girl. I'm her uncle, so I hope other shows can get revived too, like Green Lantern, the animated series, Teen Titans 2005, just like Clone Wars. Oh, Teen Titans would be awesome. I don't know if you saw the trailer for Lanterns the other day. That show looks good. That show looks actually pretty dang good. Oh, that's awesome. I love Bentley as a name. That's so cool. Definitely give my love to little Bentley for sure. Reina says, actually rewatching everything in chronological order right now up to May 22nd at the Mortis arc. Oh, you're at the best part. You're at the best freaking part, man. You know what's crazy? Dave Filoni back when Star Wars Celebration was happening last year, and he was talking about Ahsoka Season 2 and all this stuff. He's talking about, we've been planning on this story for over a decade. The only thing that he could be talking about is the Mortis arc. Like, quite literally. I know the setup was there, but oh my God. The fact he's been working on this thing for 10 years and we're finally getting the payoff, or starting to. Oh, Dave Filoni, you've done it again. Masterpiece. Just please don't pretend that paper doesn't exist. Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is coming in 3 weeks. I can't wait to see Jessica Jones back. Dude, that is dope. You know what's awful? I haven't seen the full first season. I did a trailer watch with you guys back when the trailer came out for it, and then I never finished. I think I got to like episode 2 or 3, and I never finished Daredevil Born Again, and I feel terrible. About that because I want it. There's a lot of Marvel stuff I'm behind on, high key, but I am so excited for Doomsday. Doomsday and Secret Wars are gonna be insane. And, Dave, you better get going if you're gonna try and compete with Marvel, even though you guys work for the same company. What? Is my Discord going? Oh, in the background? Probably. I think I have a... Yeah, it is. That's showing up on stream. Yeah, it was. Oh. Keanu Reeves as Slade, a.k.a. Deathstroke? That would be sick. I feel like he would maybe need a haircut, but also... maybe not, and that would be so dope. I love Keanu Reeves as like just about anything. I want him to be Revan, but apparently we're afraid of going to other parts of the timeline or something. I know they're making the game, that like there was actually like an update on it finally. And I know games take forever to make, but yeah, Wonder Man came out last month, which I was actually super excited for. It surprised a few Marvel fans, says Brandon. Expected as fourth wall show like Deadpool. Interesting tactics with that one, but I'm not in terms of that expectation. But I love Wonder Man as a character in the comics. He's a dope character, and when I found out that they were making a show and actually bringing him in, I'm like, way overdue. Granted, it's epic that they're doing it now, and with the whole Secret Wars that's coming, it'll be dope. I'm excited to see more of Wonder Man for sure, because he's a cool character. I haven't watched the show at all, which, again, I'm behind on a few things. I really am with Marvel, unfortunately. But also, I know it's coming, and I could not be more excited. All right, y'all. I got to get on out of here. I got to go take care of some stuff before I head into work. Go Golden Knights tonight, my boys. I don't think so. Real quick, Dale Skywalker. If you guys have anything else to put into the chat real quick, I'll try to get to it before we get out of here. I don't think it's much afraid as it is finishing what they started while characters are still alive, like example of Carrie Fisher. 100%. I get that. And definitely they should be focusing like everything on the Mandoverse right now. High key. So do that. But we dabble a little in an earlier timeline in the Acolyte, and everybody loses their minds. Brandon Trent says, have you ever seen Iron Lung with YouTube Markiplier? I've heard of him, but also I don't think so. I need to. Sometimes I feel like I gotta go on YouTube a little bit more to, study up on how to make these streams better, but that's because Apple. Oh no, don't say that. Oh God. There's like one scene that was absolute trash, 100%, but the show itself was not trash. See, Scotty says it's lit. We've had these discussions in ad nauseum. It's so funny too. I'm like, the way that YouTube has like your channel analytics and stuff when you're looking at the inside of the backgrounds of your channel, the stuff that y'all don't see. I still have reactions to every single episode of the Acolyte on there, and I was like looking over them, and I'm like, nah, I can't release. I can't release this. I can't release this. It's not even because of the show. But I liked it mostly, says Lobo. I did too. I actually, it's hilarious. Part of what I watched when I went back and watched. Here, let me show y'all. There's literally Acolyte stuff on the channel that's locked and hidden from everybody for every episode. And the last episode, low-key, accidentally got striked, even though it's not even up. So it doesn't affect the channel at all. But it accidentally got striked because I accidentally put the audio on the stream. I didn't know there was a setting that was on. But at the end, I was watching to see what I had to say about the show, because I remember having a positive attitude and feeling very upbeat about the show in the end, especially after seeing my boy Higo Damask. But I was very positive about the show in general. I loved seeing that time period. I loved seeing what that was like, a couple hundred years before Anakin type thing, or 100 years before Anakin. I loved seeing a new time period and the Jedi during that time period, because it was so interesting to me. It was such a cool concept, but they just missed on so much of the like little things that you can't miss on in Star Wars. And I get it. You're killing me, Smalls, for real. I said mostly, says Lobo. I liked him mostly. Yeah, I read that one. Small says there was a good story there. They just fumbled on the 50-yard line. Oh, no. It's a fumble 6, too, but didn't even get into the field goal range. No, they didn't. No. Well. The choreography of the fights was epic. I'm sorry. I can't. There's a lot of good in that show. Brandon Trent says, speaking of sequels, I hope we get more sequels for Disney underrated property. Oh yes, more Tron. I love Tron. Please. I still haven't seen Ares. I know. See, this, I'm way behind on a lot of stuff. Your boy has been focusing too much on work and shit. Lobo said it should have been made for Disney Plus featurette and only 2 hours long. But yeah, also, Brandon, Tron, definitely more Tron. Please. I love Tron. It was annoying to me that they canceled that old animated Tron show too, because that was good. Tron is awesome. Acolyte was good, says Dale. It just wasn't what Leslie said it would be. No, it wasn't. No. Absolutely not. That's honestly, again, we don't need to go too deep into it, but that is the biggest problem with the show, is that the marketing that they did for it, the fact that they were talking about it's going to be a dark side centered show. Brother, make season 1 dark side centered so that the setup that you're doing actually pays off and there can be a season 2. Now it's on the chopping block and just in purgatory. So I got to dip out too. Much love to everybody in the chat. Thank you, Dale. Thank you all. Thank you, Smalls, Scotty, everybody that's hanging with us. I appreciate you all. Paula, I appreciate you for being in. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel. I appreciate all you guys. I'm going to get on out of here, though. Have a great rest of your day. May the Force be with you always. And make sure to tell your loved ones that you love them. You never know how much time you got. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. I got to catch up on so much shows and movies. What the heck? Tron, Ares, all these Marvel. Who am I? What have I done? What have I done with the Sheev I knew? I have so much to catch up on, though. Much love, y'all. Have a good one.